Well, look, people said Tesla's original electric car was niche, and it has completely disrupted the premium market. Tesla's Model 3 is now the #5 selling car, electric or gas, in the country today. I think they may do the same thing with trucks. Trucks are the #1 selling vehicle in the country. No one has been able to knock off the Ford 150. Elon came out with a car last night that is absolutely unique looking. It's a little edgy. I think it's cool. I think it's going to be very attractive to the millennial market. And it's posting some eye-popping numbers, including a 10,000-pound towing capacity and a 0 to 60 number of as low as 4.6 seconds. I think there's going to be a big market.
Yeah, Gene, I mean, the specs certainly look pretty solid, but the design getting a lot of flack, you could say, especially among analysts. What do you think of this? I mean, do you think that sales could actually be pretty strong for this vehicle, and that Wall Street is poo-pooing it too soon?
So maybe as a starting point, I shoot to be a level-headed on the Tesla story, which is a hard thing to do given it's an emotional story. I tend to view this more positive. I do view it more positively longer term. In terms of the pickup, to answer your question, we think this is probably going to account for 5% of their total sales in 2023. It's going to ship end of 2021, ramp production 2022. Globally, pickups are 6% of sales. In the U.S., they're 18%. I think that this the type of design it's called a brutalist is the technical term. The novice term is Tron-like. I think that will appeal to a segment, a small subsegment of the pickup market, and separately of the SUV market. So it will capture a couple segments. To answer your question, though, this is 5%. It's not a huge needle mover, but it is important that this is incremental to their business. They're not cannibalizing any products here. And I think that this is another step in the company reaching escape velocity and ultimately being a much larger company than the $60 billion market cap today.
Hey, Steve, what do you think the chances are we go through a Model 3 dynamic in which $39.9 sounds good now, but once it gets to delivery, there's no way it sells for that price?
Well, look, $39.5 is still a high price for the American consumer. But the fact is, the cost of lithium-ion batteries is going down. I think you're going to see Tesla bringing the price down over time. But look, it's hard to complain about this. Tesla is now the #1 selling vehicle in the Netherlands, in Norway, in Switzerland, #3 in the UK. Whatever else you might say about Elon, they've been extremely successful at going international and showing there's a larger market than people had previously thought. And then this month, literally, they are beginning to deliver their first cars off the assembly line in China. So they're doing an awful lot right, including getting to profitability sooner than people thought. The big question now is, how soon can they get this new Tesla Cybertruck to market? Historically, they've been a little late to market, but they've really improved their manufacturing game. And as analysts have noted, the Model Y, they just moved up the entry date by 3 months. They know this is a tough race. They want to beat the others to market. The only other thing I'd say about the design is it is a little edgy, but what Ford and GM have been doing are making ultra-conservative traditional vehicles. I think the market's ready for something newer.
Well, Gene, that goes to my question. I mean, this Cybertruck, you say 5%, I think in about 3 years. Is this essentially a branding exercise? I mean, I'm seeing Model 3s now just sort of around. They're almost becoming like Camrys in a way. Some of the special patina around the Tesla brand perhaps risks fading. But this thing, I mean, everybody's going to know exactly what this is, and there are not going to be too many of them, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's incremental to the story and a revenue perspective. I think the branding impact is probably more significant over the next couple of years. It really is a shock to the system. The breaking of the glass, that we could spend a lot of time talking about that because I think that captures more than just a demo gone bad. What it really captures is a willingness of the company. You can look at this two different ways, but a willingness of the company to be aggressive around building a brand, and they want to really wanted to emphasize the strength of this vehicle in several ways during this presentation. So yes, they want to build a brand that they are radical around design. Their design language is fluid too. This is a very different type of a looking car than Tesla usually does.
Yeah.
And this concept of breaking the rules, I think, is important to them.